Hey everyone, Joe Gentile from Sarraf Gentile LLP. So today's video, we're going to talk about what happens when you file a mandamus lawsuit. So let's say you've contacted an attorney, your case has been vetted, you have a case. Your attorney then drafts a complaint based off the information that you provide him. The complaint is filed with the court. The court issues a summons, and then your attorney will arrange for the complaint to be served on the government. Once the complaint is served on the government, this is when things really start. So what happens once valid service is effectuated is the government gets a 60-day clock to respond to the complaint that was served. And what this clock does is it basically imposes a deadline on the government to either get rid of your case by adjudicating it or settling it, or fighting the case, meaning they're either going to what's called answer your complaint, or they're going to move to dismiss the complaint. They're going to tell a judge why we don't think your case has legal merit. So normally what happens is once they get that 60-day clock, they will contact the agency, let's say USCIS, on the case just to see where it stands, what's going on with it. And assuming there's not something unique about it, they're going to be pressuring USCIS to decide the case within that 60-day window, because the U.S. Attorney's Office where you filed, they don't want to spend the time and effort to oppose your lawsuit. They have other things to do, and it's just not a priority of the office to be doing that. And quite frankly, a lot of times they're sympathetic with people that have been waiting for such a tremendous amount of time, in a lot of cases, to get an adjudication. So we try to help that along by making sure that the complaint that we filed gets an attorney assigned to it in the office as quickly as possible. We get the complaint to the attorney who's assigned to it as quickly as possible, and we start advocating to them to start looking into your case, just to let them know that it's out there, and to make sure that your case is top of mind and it just doesn't go on the bottom of a pile someplace. So normally when these cases work well, and they do work well the vast majority of the time, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the attorney there will contact USCIS or whatever agency it's dealing with it, maybe a consulate, the Department of State. They're going to ask them to get this done, because it's going to take the agency a lot less time to adjudicate the case than it'll take the U.S. Attorney's Office to fight the case. And most of the time it gets adjudicated. If we're doing our job well and we have a cooperative U.S. Attorney's Office, a lot of times we can get that adjudication done a lot quicker than the 60-day deadline they have to respond. Sometimes they'll wait towards the last minute to get it done, but the majority of the time it does get done within that 60-day window. That said, there's no guarantees for whatever reason, and I can't really tell you what the reason is. It appears to be somewhat of a random nature. There's a small percentage of cases that, even though they're good cases and they're viable, the government will choose to oppose them. I speculate this is because they don't want people to think that you could just immediately file a mandamus suit, immediately get a decision. So they just want to keep you guessing a little bit. But really, if you have a good case, the vast majority of the time, mandamus lawsuits are successful, and they will get you an adjudication. So that's how the cases generally work, at least up until the point where either you get an adjudication or the government decides to fight. So the fighting part is pretty rare. I'll do another video on what that looks like if it does get to that stage. So thank you for listening. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to discuss. Thank you.